Blood, episode 12. I have no idea why I slightly fumbled that. But, for those of you wondering, I will be watching it from Crunchyroll's website, and I will be starting my reaction in 1-0, go! Alright, I'm pumped up for the finale. Oh yeah! Oh. Yeah, honestly, she should take it easy, but I understand why. I mean, and it's not just Jin she has to worry about too. Sawa, there's probably a lot of other people she's gonna worry about too. Oh no. I hope she imagines herself in the future where she can be able to sign, but then no. Fuck! I'm not liking the sound of that. The reason I'm not liking the sound of that is because Sawa isn't including herself. But I'm not gonna blame Sawa either because in a way she is right. You can't run away from plums forever. And I'm not. I know they may say they may hate each other, but they definitely have some love for each other too. The thing is, she's gonna have to be tough not only for her own daughter, but Asahi now. As for what's wrong with Sawa, I don't think it's that. It's just given the basis that they've been wanting to utilize her blood and considering her unfinished business with Jin, it makes sense that she'd want to finish things off. Because if she doesn't do that, society might be worse off, so. Hope. They ain't talking to any normal civilian. Oh no no! I was hoping Asad would stay asleep a bit longer because. And the thing is, normally like, yeah, I mean, I hope Sawa can make it back alive, but after all the death flack she's got, it doesn't feel like there's going to be any way of that happening. Oh. Oh. Now, now the biggest question is who could have helped her out though in her time. Oh. I mean, the thing is, though, considering Jin's already done dirty shit, utilizing Genoma's blood actually wouldn't put it past the bastard. I mean, hey, at the very least, Jin grew even more of a conscience. Hooray! Even though, again, it would have been nice if he would have developed it a bit earlier, but. Hey, I mean, at least he's trying to atone. It doesn't make what he did right. The thing is, though, well, yes, Sawa may have a point. She might. Oh, yeah, she might, as much as it's going to disgust her. She might be better off just letting Jin whip out whatever type of. Oh! Holy! And it's a a shame that these two just can't collaborate with each other. I understand why they wouldn't want to, though. Oh, snap! It's got that painting like a vibe now, especially with the thicker line work. It looks utterly gorgeous. Oh. Hey, you know, something ain't wrong. And then something I love too, they're actually talking while also battling with each other. That's something you don't see a lot in animations because it's either they separate the talking sequences and then they have characters fight and then talk. I like how this series doesn't do some of the BS that other animes do. Now this is more like it. Now knowing, oh. I mean, she should already know deep down why Jin's not gonna fight back, and I know why she can't pull the trigger because she wants to fight Jin when Jin has the capabilities of defending himself. The thing, yeah. That's how you truly know Sawa's changed for the better. Because. I mean, honestly, as much as it pains her, it might be for the best because, for one, there might actually be a chance that Yoshinobu and Jin could kill each other on the positive side. Oh! Hey, y'all. It was just a quick call. Oh, shit. Wait. I think I'm gonna have to entirely do this reaction because I gotta check if there's actually sound playing in my live stream reaction. Shit. Let me check real quick on my let me just disconnect my mic real quick. Shit. Yeah, because there was a call and it interrupted my live stream. And I noticed that when I disconnected the call, I might have had some audio playing, so... Alright, I'll check right now. Well, not redo, just separate it. Have 8 minutes, have the first 8 minutes saved, then do the last 60 minutes and unlisted, then combine them both. I'm not going to entirely redo the whole thing, I'm just going to combine them. But no, from the sounds of things, no, there wasn't any sound from the episode. I gotta make sure again, though, because people could lose their channels over a few seconds, though. It seems safe. Now I gotta check the rest of my live stream, too. Let's see. Alright, yeah, you know what? Everything seems fine, actually. There wasn't any sound playing from the episode. I was actually scared. So you know what? No, I won't have to redo this. I can continue on. I saw that when I had that random phone call, it happened in the 7-minute mark, so... This ain't anything too bad. Yeah, you know what? I'll continue off from the 7 minute mark because when the phone actually happened, I checked. It happened in the 7 minute and 1 second mark. So if that ain't too bad, I can work with this. And also for the searching, apparently, if someone has like 5 seconds of audio, they can't copyright claim a video since my videos have edited thumbnails and all that stuff. Then my video's safe. Yeah, so you know what? I'll continue on the reaction. Let me just reconnect my mic. I apologize for that. I didn't think I was gonna get a... Alright. Now I'm just gonna test if the mic works because I had it at the perfect spot. Now I gotta actually quality test it. Okay, now I'll be starting my reaction from the 7 minute mark in 3, 2, 1, go! Honestly, at this point, I'm not gonna blame Saul for not perceiving why Jin does the sort of things he does, but and the thing is, Jin should have said that earlier, but I could imagine why he didn't mention it earlier because he's a man who keeps his cards close to his chest figuratively. Yo, that is a good question. Aww. Hey, at least now he's finally being honest with himself. The thing is, he's never going to be able to do that. But, yeah, it really doesn't make up for what he did. The only thing it really does is it makes him a slightly less shittier person. And that's about it at most. Aww. But honestly, why would that be something she wouldn't want to do, though? Because best be told, that's something that Asahi wouldn't desire. And we all know that Sahi would want that deep down. Oh. The thing is, yeah, and additionally, Jin does not seem like the type of person who wants to make it out of the coming battle alive, considering that Jin's carried up that guilt for multiple years. Yeah, he's probably would find it fitting if he also dies while taking on Yoshinobu simultaneously. I just hope Sawa doesn't do something utterly crazy, though. But you never know in this series. I just like how that's the answer. He just cuts him the lines immediately. Yo, that is actually a surprise. I thought he'd have a much more menacing stature. I mean, sometimes the truth ain't comforting. Woo, boy. And honestly, with the orders that the old man has given off, he doesn't deserve to take another breath. Oh. And that's a nice character development for Jin there. Actually straight up saying explicitly that he actually has someone valuable because we know that is Sawa for the moment. Hey, I actually wouldn't mind seeing that old man slashed and eviscerated, but hey, you know what? I'll take it. But the thing is, even if Jin took care of things, what I'm worried about is early on in the episode they didn't mention that civilians aren't allowed to be outside in these specific hours. So regardless, Sawa is still in danger. Especially considering, I mean, Jin may have been an idiot, but he at least accomplished what he set out to do. And in a way, it is badass, even though, yes, Jin is a sack of trash. I mean, well, I can't call him a complete sack of trash now. But even though, yes, some of the things he did in the past were ethically gray, at the very least, he achieved something huge, and for that, gotta, I don't know if I should even be saluting that, but at least gotta give him his props. And you know what? Oh, no, then again, not all loose ends are tied up because Rinko is still alive. Who the hell knows if she's gonna want to show up in the finale. Or maybe I'm just paranoid as fuck, and maybe Sawa's gonna be able to live a happy life with her girl Asahi, and everything's gonna be absolutely fine. I mean, at the very least, everything's looking good so far. She imagined she was seeing her girl. Aww, that's adorable. Aww. Oh! Oh, no. Oh, it's that bitch! Okay, I thought for a second Rinko was gonna actually do something bad to Sawa. I guess I was just overly paranoid there. But y'all can't blame me though. Like, this... Aww. But you know what? I love that massive amount of loyalty. No, that is just utterly beautiful there. And I do hope it's true. Hey, you know, that'd actually be a great name for the baby. Damn, I was hoping we'd actually see her complete the sentence. Oh! Aw, yes! Alright! It was a happy reunion. I wasn't expecting this, but hey, you know what? I will fucking take it. Woo! Alright, I gotta admit. That's a pretty dang beautiful gift if you ask me. And you know what I like here about... Oh, okay, I was like getting paranoid because it looks like she's struggling with her senses. Because with the way she was struggling to get her cloak, it seemed like a bad sign. Oh! Wait, don't tell me that she was poisoned by Rinko. Oh, no, 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 no. The polar opposite of when Sa was telling Asahi that Asahi was warm. The thing is, though, with the way Sa was talking there, she doesn't have much time left. And that makes sense because I was wondering why was she like tapping the walls as if she was struggling to see, but that just completely gives it away. And then her temperature going away from her body. Oh, that's. I mean, in a way, it's positive. At the very least, the last memory she's going to have with the song is going to be a positive one, but. Okay. At the very least, she's still conscious, but. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. So yeah, she did get wounded by Ringo because she didn't really fight anyone else. Oh. Yeah. They definitely killed off Sawa because that gives it away. Like, it's probably just Asahi closely blast processing that she died. But in saying that, son of a bitch! That Rinko. Fuck Rinko! That motherfucker. I hope there's a season 2. Just so that Ursawa could potentially get avenged and Rinko could be killed by anyone. Or even Asahi because that bitch deserves to die. But in saying that though, this doesn't even feel like an ending though. Like a series ending. It feels more like a setup for a season 2 that may never come. At all. So I've kind of got mixed thoughts about this. I was liking the finale a great deal. And I do love how they're, oh, okay, now it's back. Oh, I mean, it makes sense that years later, Asai would still want revenge against whoever. Oh. But honestly, though, knowing how Sawa is, she'd want Asai to be your own person, you know? I got a mirror character design when she's older. Looks really good. Oh. I'm assuming that's on his daughter. Hmm. Oh, it's fine. Nice to. It's one less to hear her name. Aw, that's fucking adorable. Hmm. Oh. You know, I do like this. Oh, wait, so does that mean that she. Wait, what? So, does that mean she gained all the powers of Sawa going by that? But how will that. I mean. You know what? No, it makes sense because considering that Janome did make multiple drugs that did have the blood from Sawa's clan, it makes sense why she would have like on her eyes. And plus, considering there was a time skip, I'd venture to guess that the blood, well, the fake blood would be much more perfected in that period in time. But in saying that, though, I've got mixed feelings about the ending because don't get me wrong, I like the fact that it was Jin that took care of things because I thought it was a unique twist. Not every series needs to have the protagonist settle every single little scenario because in this series, it was most of Sawa doing most of the heavy lifting. And I did think it was a ballsy decision of the writers to actually have the mercy that Sawa had actually be her undoing because in her doing that and sparing Rinko, Sawa essentially signed her own death warrants. And I do like that because in a lot of animations, whenever you have main characters spare a villain, it usually ends up well, and I'm like, okay, that's just too damn convenient that things turned out well. Here, it was interesting that, no, in this instance, things did not go well. Things went to complete shit because if Rinko would have died, then then Arsawa and Sai would have had a happy life. So I do love that kind of ballsy decision making in the series. But in saying that, there were things I didn't like, and I have to be honest. It just utterly sequel baits. I'm like, really? Of all the things to do, why? Why would it? There's just a lot of things about this that are erupt. Because, for one, last I checked, this series is anime original, and it's only listed for 12 episodes. So if you ask me, it's utterly fucked up that the writing staff make an anime original. They make 12 episodes. If you're gonna sequel bait, at least announce a series as a split core or 24 episodes. Don't just end it like that, as if it's potentially could get more. That's where I'm like, with the finale, it's like, alright, so you set up a potential journey with Elena's daughter Satsuki and Sawa, who's trying to become, I mean, not Sawa, Asahi's trying to become like Sawa. You set up an adventure and then you just end it like that. I gotta say, that is just an overall disappointment, especially when he emphasizes the fact that, yes, the cycle of events is going to continue. Well, don't get me wrong, I have no issues with that if there would have been resolution. If, say, it would have been like another core with our girls going for revenge, that'd have been nice. And that's why I had issues with the final scene. Because throughout the whole series, it felt like it was building towards a emotionally satisfying conclusion. But nope! It didn't do that. And speaking of which, I would have loved to have maybe even seen a bit of time with Satsuki and her mother and father, at least a little bit more. Something. Or even the reaction of Sawa's death from Asahi's perspective. I felt the series really, and I mean really, missed an opportunity to have intense emotional sequences. Like, it really makes me feel like if it wasn't going to have another core, at least to make the series 13 episodes so that we can at least see some emotional catharsis. And the final episode didn't do that. That's why what I meant when I said there were things I liked about this episode. There were things I didn't like. And speaking of which, something else that also really kind of irked me. They didn't really explain why. I mean, don't get me wrong. I guess you could say that the perfected drugs could probably give Asahi the ability to utilize Sawa's abilities. But then at the same time, I would have loved to have seen at the very least some kind of emphasis or building up towards that. You can't just be like, oh, look, we end the series, but then we're just gonna give Asahi all these abilities without explaining shit. Yes, it's possible to infer things, but the thing is, considering that the drug made by Genoma's men was given so much emphasis in the series, it's just tough to be like, okay, all of a sudden they don't feel like explaining jack squat. That's why the episode lost me in a few bits. Now, and saying that though, overall there were things I liked about the ending though. I mean, hearing that Asahi is furious was actually pretty dang glorious. And in addition to that, I gotta admit, even though yes, it may have ended things abruptly, that final scene with Sawa where she was talking with Asahi, that last conversation she had was utterly beautiful. And I felt something. I ain't gonna lie. But, in saying that, considering how thoroughly inconsistent the final episode was, if I would have... But then again, there were positives too, because I did like what they did with Jin. I did like how Jin pretty much acknowledged how much he did value Sawa's mother, and then Sawa herself. I do like that. And it was nice to see him finally open himself up a little bit more. So there were positives too. That's why I'm not completely shitting all over the finale, even though there were things I didn't like about it. So, let me talk about other things though, because the script, you already know my thoughts. It's a mixed bag. I explained bit by bit what I liked and didn't like. Now, here's what I think about the visuals. They were good. That is something I'm not going to take away from the animators. They made sure that everything was finally crafted. And aside from that, I gotta say, the artwork was absolutely gorgeous. It looked like I was looking at a painting sometimes when they did have a few animated sequences. Now, other things that were amazing were the vocal performances. They were absolutely glorious. And if I had to rate this episode overall on a scale of 1 to 10, honestly, in my scale, 5 out of 10 is exceptional. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 for average. Because honestly, the finale really left a sour taste in my mouth. Now, if it were to get a second season, then I'd be like, yeah, alright. This would be nice. And then I could be like, they could have to release to develop Asahi and Satsuki. But the thing is, though, if the series just stays like this, and I'm like, no, you know what? No, I think I'm being a bit too nice to the finale. The finale has just too many fucking flaws. I'm gonna do a scaled rating. With the way the finale is, I'm gonna have to give it a 4.75 out of 10. Because honestly, the finale felt like a big fuck you to people that were keeping up with the series. And it wasn't the fact that Saw would die that pissed me off. I can understand that. There being consequences. But fuck! At least if we're gonna do this shit, have 2 course plans so that we can see Satsuki and Asahi's journey, for fuck's sake! Not even like this. So I'm gonna give this final episode a 4.75 out of 10. But if it were to get a season 2 that actually does show a proper conclusion to the series, then I'll bump it up to a 6 out of 10 for slightly above average, I meant to say. But that's only a big if. Now, for the series itself, honestly, this series had good and positive moments. Now, here are some positive things about the series that I didn't like. I did love seeing Sawa's journey. She was a really engaging protagonist. I love how she was dealing with like PTSD after like the loss of her brother and then the loss of Asahi and how it broke her, but then eventually she gained a lot of emotional strength to see things through. I thought that was really awe-inspiring. I thought she was a good protagonist. I liked Asahi. I thought she was cool too. I like how there were moments where she contemplated getting revenge against Sawa, but then eventually she realized that she loved Sawa a lot. And I even love how it showed you a bit of immaturity where in the diary she wrote that she was angry at Sawa, but then afterwards she apologizes in the same diary. I thought that was really dang good. So Asahi's character was nice. Now, where they kind of botched something in the series was characters like Suki, because don't get me wrong, I understand that Suki wanted to get the best out of Sawa, but during the series there were better ways of doing it. Like when in the last 2 sequences that she was in, she could have just straight up told Sawa that if she didn't fight her, then she was gonna try to kill Asahi. I feel like maybe that would have fit more towards Suki's character, because thinking back, I think they sometimes fuck with Suki's characterization a bit more. I like what they did with Elenia, though, seeing how even though, yes, she said multiple times that she hates Asahi, I loved seeing that deep down she did like her. She just didn't want to acknowledge that. So there were positives that I could take from this episode where I'm like, alright, it did good in some bits, to its credit. And I did like Jin's character too, how he was conflicted and how he himself acknowledged that the shit he did was wrong. So there were multiple bits where I'm like, okay, this is good, this is nice. But, here's the thing though. There were negatives too. Like, for example, the death of Junome, when he died, retroactively speaking, it felt like it didn't impact the plot enough. So there was that one potential downside in the series. Thinking back, like characters like Jin, Suki made an impact, but there were some antagonists that it didn't really make much of a major impact. And then, speaking of which, here's a reason why this series really dropped a lot for me in the final episode. Because it's like, come on now. Here's the thing about the ending. And thinking about it, no, the ending is not awful because it's like, I checked the My Name list. Yeah, it truly is Venom the original. So you would think that the writers would just have everything planned out. You would think, right? But no. They really didn't have shit planned out. So that's what really pissed me off about this series. And two, here's another thing that kind of annoyed me too. I kind of do wish that at the very least for this, we would also gotten at least a bit of Rinko's mindset and backstabbing Sawa at the very least. Because the way it happened, it just felt like it was quick. I didn't feel like they emphasized it enough. And then speaking of which, there's another thing that also you gotta put into consideration. The series emphasized the government factor a lot. But here's the thing about that feature. In the whole government situation, it makes you wonder how the hell did Asahi get that blue blood? But then again, I do remember in the previous episode, they mentioned that she got a transfusion, so I guess there is that. But the thing is, the series didn't really explain much of those major details, and that's why the ending really pisses me off, because major things happened at the final bit, and it just made things really fucking sloppy now. But then simultaneously though, this could all be fixed if it gets a sequel. Provided the sequel doesn't botch its ending like this season did. So that's why, taking all this into consideration, and I thought overall the visuals and voice performances were good. But taking all this into consideration, I'm also going to do a scaled rating for the series. Now, if I were to rate the series just based off of how I felt, just with thinking that it's only going to end with this, then I'll give season 1, if I would rate on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a bezel, 5 being average, and 10 being exceptional, a 4.5 out of 10 for a below average. But, let me preface this. If it gets to season 2, then I'll bump up my rating into a 5 out of 10 for a bit above average. Well, no, that's exactly average in my scale. And let's say season 2 kicks complete and utter ass, and it's one of the most amazing animes I've seen, then I'm inclined to bumping up my rating of season 1 into, say, a 5.5 or a 6 out of 10. Depending on how season 2 does things, because I'm not going to forget about all the things that season 1 did fumble, admittedly. But, in saying that, yeah, these are my honest thoughts on the final episode, y'all. And the series in general. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how I feel about my reaction or the episode itself in the comment section below. Hope y'all rate the video, share it, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all later if you come back for more. Because if this series were to get a season 2, yeah, I would react to it. That's a big if it does get one, though, since who knows. But anyways, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching my video, and have a safe, great, and fantastic day, everyone. Bye-bye.